Hello, welcome to Ive's channel. Today we will learn about Salem's most shocking and twisted storyline yet, Sophia Choi's complete psychological breakdown that is threatening to tear apart the very fabric of our beloved Salem community. What started as postpartum depression has now morphed into a calculated, malicious campaign of destruction that shows just how far one disturbed mind can push the boundaries of revenge and obsession. Sophia's descent into complete madness. Sophia Choi, portrayed by the talented Rachel Boyd, has officially crossed the line from troubled new mother to dangerous predator stalking the halls of Salem University. Her latest scheme represents the darkest turn in days of our lives storytelling, as viewers witness a young woman whose grip on reality has completely shattered, leaving behind a wake of manipulation, drugging, and psychological warfare. The calculated nature of her current actions shows that this isn't just about hormones or loneliness anymore. Sophia has become a master manipulator who will stop at nothing to destroy the lives of those she blames for her misfortunes. What makes Sophia's breakdown particularly chilling is how she's methodically targeting multiple victims simultaneously, weaving a web of lies and deception that threatens to engulf Holly Jonas, Tate Black, Johnny DiMera, Chanel Dupree, and even her own innocent child. The young woman who once seemed like a victim of circumstances has transformed into Salem's most dangerous resident, using her intelligence and cunning to orchestrate a revenge plot that would make even the most seasoned soap opera villains take notice. The expanding circle of destruction. Sophia's latest machinations have created a ripple effect that extends far beyond her original targets, now threatening to destroy academic careers, romantic relationships, and family bonds throughout Salem. Holly Jonas, the innocent student who simply happened to catch Johnny DiMera's attention, has found herself at the center of Sophia's twisted game, becoming the victim of a sophisticated drugging scheme designed to compromise her reputation and destroy her relationship with Tate. The fact that Sophia would go so far as to spike another woman's drink and then photograph her in a vulnerable state demonstrates just how far removed she has become from any sense of moral boundaries. Johnny DiMera and Chanel Dupree, who initially tried to help Sophia by considering adoption of her child, have discovered that no good deed goes unpunished in Sophia's twisted worldview. Their decision to ultimately back out of the adoption has triggered a vengeful response that threatens not only Johnny's promising career as a professor at Salem University but also the stability of his marriage to Chanel. Sophia's ability to twist their kindness into perceived betrayal showcases the dangerous level of her psychological deterioration. Even Melinda Trask, who has attempted to serve as a voice of reason, finds herself caught in the crossfire of Sophia's escalating war against anyone who dares to oppose her will. The experienced attorney's attempts to talk sense into Sophia have fallen on deaf ears, as the young woman has become completely consumed by her need for revenge and control. The dangerous game with Tate's heart. Perhaps the most disturbing aspect of Sophia's current storyline is her delusional belief that Tate Black will somehow return to her arms once she has successfully destroyed all of his other relationships and prospects for happiness. This fantasy reveals the depth of her psychological break from reality, as she seems genuinely convinced that a campaign of terror and manipulation will somehow win back the affections of the young man she claims to love. The fact that serious questions remain about whether Tate is actually the father of her child adds another layer of complexity to her obsession, suggesting that her entire relationship with him may have been built on deception from the very beginning. Tate, for his part, has begun to recognize the dangerous game he's become entangled in, attempting to use Sophia's feelings for him to gather information about her plans. However, this strategy may backfire spectacularly, as Sophia's mental state continues to deteriorate and her actions become increasingly unpredictable and violent. The young man who once showed her kindness now finds himself the unwitting target of an obsession that threatens to consume not only his own life but the lives of everyone he cares about. The compromising evidence and its consequences. Sophia's decision to drug Holly and photograph her in compromising positions represents a new low in her campaign of terror, demonstrating her willingness to cross legal and ethical boundaries that should be sacred. The sexy photographs she captured while Holly was unconscious from the spiked drinks are being weaponized as part of a larger scheme to drive a wedge between Johnny and Chanel, potentially destroying their marriage in the process. This calculated move shows that Sophia understands exactly how to inflict maximum emotional damage on her targets, using their love for each other against them. The implications of these photographs extend far beyond personal embarrassment, threatening to destroy Holly's academic standing at Salem University and potentially derailing her entire future. For Johnny, being associated with these compromising images could mean the end of his teaching career before it has even truly begun, while Chanel faces the heartbreak of seeing her husband implicated in what appears to be an inappropriate relationship with a student. Salem University under siege. The upcoming fire at Salem University dormitory adds a dangerous new dimension to Sophia's reign of terror, as her actions now threaten lives as well as reputations. With Holly still unconscious from Sophia's drugging, completely unaware of the candle that will spark a deadly blaze in her room, the consequences of Sophia's manipulation have escalated from psychological warfare to potential murder. This development transforms Sophia from a dangerous manipulator into a potentially lethal threat to the entire Salem University community. The fire represents the ultimate manifestation of Sophia's destructive power, showing how her twisted schemes can spiral beyond her control and threaten innocent lives. When Tate realizes that Holly is trapped in the burning building, his heroic attempt to save her will demonstrate the depth of his love while simultaneously highlighting the deadly consequences of Sophia's jealousy and rage. Comparisons to Salem's most notorious villains. Fans and critics alike have begun drawing comparisons between Sophia's current behavior and the legendary Jan Spears, whose obsessive pursuit of Sean Brady became the stuff of soap opera legend. Like Jan, Sophia has demonstrated a willingness to cross any line and destroy any relationship in pursuit of her delusional romantic fantasies. The possibility that she may end up sharing a cell with Jan adds a darkly poetic element to her story, suggesting that Salem's most dangerous women may finally find themselves face to face. This comparison is particularly apt given both women's ability to manipulate situations and people to serve their twisted agendas, using their intelligence and cunning to stay one step ahead of those who would stop them. However, Sophia's youth and the modern setting of her crimes add new elements of danger, as she has access to technology and social media platforms that can amplify the damage of her schemes. The unraveling of Sophia's web of lies. As Sophia's schemes become increasingly elaborate and dangerous, the likelihood of their ultimate exposure grows with each passing day. Next week's episodes promise major fallout from her manipulations, with spoilers suggesting that she will panic as her carefully laid plans begin to unravel. The revelation of her deceptions could potentially destroy not only her own life but also create lasting trauma for all of her victims. The question now becomes whether anyone in Salem will be able to stop Sophia before her psychological breakdown leads to even more devastating consequences. With her actions escalating from manipulation to drugging to potentially causing deadly fires, it seems clear that professional intervention will be necessary to protect the Salem community from her continued reign of terror. The stage is set for a dramatic confrontation that will determine whether Sophia can be saved from herself, or whether she has crossed too many lines to ever find redemption in the heart of Salem. Part 2, Days of Our Lives spoilers. Marlena collapses in the blackout, and Rachel may drop a bombshell on Thomas. For more than half a century, Days of Our Lives has been weaving together the lives, loves, scandals, and secrets of Salem's residents. Generations of viewers have followed the triumphs and heartbreaks of the Brady, Horton, and DiMera families. And now, as the story moves into a fresh week, Salem is once again shaken, this time by a sudden blackout that leaves the town in both literal and emotional darkness. The September 29, 2025, episode promises a blend of danger, shocking revelations, and family tensions that could change lives forever. At the heart of the drama is Dr. Marlena Evans, Deidre Hall, Salem's beloved psychiatrist and matriarchal figure. She has stood strong through countless storms over the decades, from kidnappings and possessions to heartbreak and loss, but this latest ordeal may be one of her most frightening. As the lights go out across Salem, Marlena is left vulnerable, and the consequences prove dire. Marlena's collapse in the darkness. The blackout begins innocently enough, but it quickly sends waves of uncertainty through the town. For Marlena, who has faced health scares in the past, the sudden plunge into darkness becomes more than just an inconvenience. Alone in her home, she is struck by a medical crisis that leaves her weak and unable to call for help. Viewers will soon see Marlena pass out, collapsing in the wake of the power outage. This is not just another moment of fainting, it carries with it the weight of all her past battles, and the audience can feel the tension rising. For longtime fans who have followed Marlena's struggles since the 1970s, this collapse carries an almost symbolic power. She has been the steady heart of Salem for so long, and watching her in such a fragile state stirs deep emotions. But Marlena will not be alone for long. Help arrives in the form of an unexpected visitor, Susan Banks. Susan to the rescue. Susan Banks, known for her eccentric behavior, unusual premonitions, and one-of-a-kind manner of speaking, has often been the character who mixes comic relief with uncanny intuition. Over the years, she has drifted in and out of Salem's storylines, but when she appears, she always seems to arrive at exactly the right time, or the most awkward one. In this case, Susan finds Marlena unconscious and immediately springs into action. Despite her quirky ways, Susan has a good heart, and her devotion to the people she cares about is unwavering. Fans can expect a mix of concern, panic, and determination as Susan tends to Marlena and does everything she can to keep her stable until more help arrives. Susan's presence in this scene also offers something familiar to longtime viewers, the reassurance that even in Salem's darkest hours, unexpected friendships and alliances come to the surface. For older fans who have watched the ups and downs of both women over decades, the sight of Susan standing by Marlena's side will feel both heartwarming and dramatic. Tensions between Thomas and Rachel. While Marlena battles her crisis, another storm is brewing across town. Young Thomas Horton, Carrie Christopher, the great-grandson of legendary Alice Horton, finds himself caught in an intense situation with his cousin, Rachel Black, Alice Halsey. The two children have not been getting along for some time. Their family ties are strong, but their personalities often clash, and in true Salem fashion, even the youngest members of the town are not immune to secrets, rivalries, and drama. Now, trapped together during the blackout, Thomas and Rachel are forced to confront each other. This is where the suspense rises. Rachel knows something about Chad DiMera, Billy Flynn, and a woman named Kat, Annalyn McCord. And the question is, will she finally reveal the truth to Thomas? What Rachel might reveal. For weeks, tension has been building around Chad's growing connection with Kat. Chad, who has endured so much heartbreak, including the devastating loss of his wife Abigail, has slowly begun to open his heart again. But Salem is a town where secrets rarely stay buried, and Rachel may be the one to let the cat out of the bag. If she chooses to tell Thomas what she knows, it could change everything. Thomas has always adored his father, Chad, and the thought of him moving on with someone new, especially in the complicated emotional landscape of Salem, could be a crushing blow. For viewers, the potential reveal brings with it echoes of Salem's history, where children have often been at the center of shocking discoveries that ripple outward to shake entire families. The drama of whether Rachel speaks up adds a layer of suspense not only for the characters but also for fans who have been eagerly speculating about Chad and Kat's future. And the blackout, with its confined spaces and heightened emotions, creates the perfect setting for the truth to come spilling out. Chad and Kat, not left in the dark. Meanwhile, Chad and Kat are not completely powerless in this blackout. Unlike Marlena, who has fallen into a health crisis, or Thomas and Rachel, who are navigating tense family secrets, Chad and Kat manage to keep their bearings. This contrast highlights their growing closeness. Their scenes together suggest a couple finding comfort in each other, even when the rest of Salem is plunged into chaos. For longtime fans who remember Chad's heartbreaking losses and struggles, this potential romance is both bittersweet and controversial. The memory of Abigail still lingers over every decision Chad makes, and fans over the years have grown protective of him and his children. Whether Chad's new relationship will flourish or falter is still uncertain, but this blackout episode will undoubtedly shed light on just how deeply Chad and Kat are becoming entangled. Salem in the shadows. As the episode unfolds, the blackout serves as more than just a physical event. It becomes a metaphor for Salem itself. A town where secrets are hidden in the dark, only to be revealed when the lights come back on. For Marlena, the darkness nearly claims her health. For Thomas and Rachel, it becomes the backdrop to a family revelation that could cause lasting consequences. For Chad and Kat, it provides a strange sort of intimacy that pulls them closer together.